Hello there, hello YouTube, it's Liz here again, and thank you so much for joining me here on Annie's YouTube channel. We are live right now, so if you're joining me, say hello in the chat, let me know that you're here, let me know what you're working on, and as always, we are going to do a quick crochet tutorial. So today we're talking about Annie's Creative Studio, and you probably have heard me talk about that before, but I'm just going to go over another pattern that uses post stitches, and we're going to work on the front post double crochet and a back post double crochet, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So while I'm waiting for maybe a few people to join and say hello to me, let's recap what we did last week. Last week we learned the foundation single crochet, and I have my little sample here. This foundation single crochet was from a pattern that we talked about in the June issue of Crochet World. And that pattern was called the Quilted Pot Holder Set. So here's the Quilted Pot Holder Set. It's a really cute set where you start out with foundation stitches and then you change colors a few times, and then you do like a little cross stitch over the top, and then you take the two pieces that you made and you slip stitch, join them together. So that's what I showed you how to do last time. We did the foundation single crochet, which is a way that you can start a whole new row without doing the chain. So no foundation chain needed. So if you don't know how to do that, check that video. That's in the playlist, and I'll put it in the link as well, so you can check that out. And this was also what we did, just a simple little, you might not be able to see it, but see right up here is a little slip stitch join, and that's how you join the pieces in this pretty pattern for to make this little pretty border. So that's in the June issue of Crochet World. That's what we did last week. So if you missed last week, go ahead and click on that video and check out the video. So today I wanted to talk about Annie's Creative Studio. You get hundreds of classes in Annie's Creative Studio. It's a monthly membership. You can join for 15 days for free, so you can check it out and check all the classes. There's all kinds of crafting. Of course, I like the knitting and crochet the most, but there's also quilting, sewing, all kinds of fun things. And each class gives you a complete tutorial of either the pattern or the method, whatever it is, and you get also the written PDF. So this is the printed PDF for the pattern that we're going to work on today, and this is called the Unisex Slippers, and it's by Lena Skavagerson, and she does a few really great classes on Annie's Creative Studio. She does some really fun mandala, like beautiful colorful, great mandalas. So if you're interested in that, those are really nice too. But I thought we'd do something a little simpler today. And these are just the unisex slippers. And as you can see, there's a lot of post stitches in there. So we're going to talk about post stitches. Let me show you. I haven't completed my slippers yet, but this is how I've gotten so far. So it's pretty simple. You just start at the cuff and then you just work your way down, doing post stitches in the round. And then you start working in rows back and forth to make this instep part. And then you just do a few color changes around here, and then you start working the sole. So the sole, you just work around and you decrease. So the whole, from start to finish, the whole class is over on Annie's Creative Studio. So if you want to see from start to finish how to do the sole, everything else, you can check out that class. Today we're just going to talk about the post stitches. So let me move my phone so I can show you guys this stitch. And if you've done post stitches, you know they're pretty used frequently in crochet. So a lot of patterns are going to call for post stitches. So if you're a beginner and you're not sure how to do those, this would be a great tutorial to watch, because you're really going to sort of need this skill. Post stitches are very popular in crochet and very widely used in patterns. So first we start with, this is just a small row of double crochets that I made for my sample. And we're going to work first the front post stitches. And the way this pattern does it is you work a front post stitch and then a regular double crochet and then a front post stitch. So that's how we're going to do it. So I chained up 3, and I'm going to work my first post stitch around this, and I'll bring it really close so you can see. So this is the whole stitch, right? So like from the top, and this area right here is the post. So what you're going to do is work around that post. So see, that's the post. So you just basically work the double crochet around that whole post rather than going into the top like you normally would. So you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to go in from the front to the back. So from the front to the back, and then you're going to come back around from the back to the front. And you should have that whole post just sort of hanging over your hook like that. And then you simply yarn over and finish like a double crochet like you would. Pull through and pull through. And as you can see, the stitch is now being pushed to the front. So now we're gonna do, so now we did that post stitch, so we have to skip that because we worked that stitch. So you skip that top part, right? And we're gonna go a double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, so that's the one we just did a double crochet. Now we're working another post right here. So we're gonna yarn over, go from back, and then back, front to back, and then back to front. And then just work a double crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2. So double crochet in the next one. And this is gonna just make like a little sort of ribbed pattern. That's how you would make cuffs and borders and things like that. So now you're just gonna go front to back. See how we're wrapping around, we're wrapping our double crochet around the post of that double crochet rather than working a double crochet into the top of the double crochet. And that's basically how you do a post stitch. It's very simple. We use these a lot with cables. There's a few different ways to do cables, but you do a lot of post stitching with cables. So just wrap it around. Do another double crochet here. You see how we're going in and working that double crochet around the post of the double crochet of the previous row. Double crochet, and then last post right here. So yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and it's as simple as that. That's how you make a front post stitch. So as you can see, the ones that we worked around, they're sort of sticking to the front. So if you're working a front post, you want your stitch to be pushed to the front. If you're working a back post, it's going to get pushed to the back. And that's how you can sort of remember. So this is the start of my cuff from the unisex slippers, and as you can see, I've been working the post stitch all the way around. So that's how you would start it. But if you're just going to continue on, once you get past that first row, or in this case round, of post stitches, then you're just going to work, it gets even easier because then you just work around that stitch that's already sticking out to the front. So you can easily see it where it is and grab it. So see, and then it's just going to make that line, and the next stitch is a double crochet. It's just going to make that sort of, I don't know what to call that, but it's sort of like a, you know, a ribbed look or whatever. It's being pushed out. And there's Tracy. Hi, Tracy. We're doing post stitches. Thank you for joining me. We are talking about the unisex slippers. This is from, and there's Mia. Yeah, so we're working on the unisex slippers. I'm just showing you how to do the post stitches because these slippers have lots of post stitches in them. And this is a class from Annie's Creative Studio, and it goes over, Lena tells you how to work the whole entire slipper from the sole all the way down. And this is mine so far, as you can see. It's not hard But there are a lot of different, or not a lot, but a few different techniques that you need to know to make these slippers. And the post stitching is one of them. You're welcome. Okay, so now I'm just showing you how to do these in the round, because that's how you're going to work them. And then I'm going to show you the back post. So as you can see, that post stitch is already sticking out for me to see, so I can easily just grab it. And I'm alternating with regular double crochet. So there's my post. And that will just keep the pattern going all throughout your rounds. And you just keep working those rounds up until you get to the height that the pattern tells you for these slippers. Oops, my yarn split. And this is this one is Lion Brand Jeans yarn. This is a nice worsted weight acrylic yarn. I like it because it's softer, I find, than some acrylic yarns, so it's nice. So that's what we do to make the cuff. We just keep working those post stitches, front post stitches. Now, when we get to the instep, we have to sort of change what we're doing to keep that pattern going, because we're not working in the round anymore. So when you work in the round, you don't have to turn your work, you just keep going around and around. But when you work in rows, you have to turn your work. So in order to keep that pattern going throughout the slipper, we have to work back post stitches on the other row, on the turned row. So let me show you how to do that. So let's say I worked a few of these front post stitches here, and I'm ready to do my instep. Okay, so now I'm just going to start working in rows. Hi Liz, the slippers look comfy. They would make great Christmas gifts. Yes, I agree, Diane. Thank you for joining me today. Yes, they would make really great Christmas gifts, and they're pretty quick to work up. And you can make them in all different sizes. So the pattern comes with I believe male and female. Yeah, lots of different sizes, male and female. And I made mine sort of in a kid size, and it was really easy to just adjust the stitches. So you can make it even smaller if you want to do some modification. So we're going to chain up there. And now, instead of working around, we're just going to turn our work. Okay, now we have to keep these post stitches being pushed out that way. We don't want them to start being pushed this way, because that's not going to keep with the pattern. So this one's the regular double crochet. So you're going to look for the one that's a front post, and that's this one here, right? So now we're going to, rather than go in from front to back, we're going to go in from back to front. So you yarn over from back to front, and then you just go front to back. So it's kind of the opposite of what we did before. Okay, and then you just complete your double crochet. So we work our next one, which is a double crochet, and we're basically just doing the opposite of what we did before, and it's simple if you just kind of, you have to rotate your work a little bit. So just go from back to front. You see how I'm coming from back to front, and then again from front to back. And pull through. We'll work that double crochet. See? So now instead of that stitch being pushed towards me, it's being pushed towards the back. And that's what we want to keep it in the pattern. And another double crochet, and then another back post. So you just come in from the back to the front, and then the front to the back. And once you do a few rows, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to alternating between the back posts and the front posts. And see how now my pattern is keeping the same? Because I just worked that row as back post stitches. So there I ended, and then I turn my work, and then I work a row of front post stitches. And turn your work a row of back posts. So that's how you have to do it to continue with this pattern if you're working in back and forth in rows as opposed to doing it in rounds. But when you're doing it in rounds, because you're not turning, you just can continue working front post stitches around front post stitches. And that is all, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you want to check out our last week's live video, we did foundation single crochet, and that's a really excellent stitch to learn if you don't already know it. I hope you enjoyed this post stitches video, and make sure you you can check the playlist and watch all my old videos if you've missed any of them. There's a few on there with all different crochet tutorials. And make sure you check out Annie's Creative Studio if you want to sign up for the free 15-day trial membership. And lastly, check out our Facebook group, because there's a lot of crocheters on the Facebook group to just chit chat with, ask questions, bounce ideas off of. You're welcome, Mia. Thanks everyone for joining me today, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. here on Annie's YouTube channel. Bye.